fairly shocking scenes with the Everton Millwall crowd trouble afterwards, and the picture of the fan who's got a scar down the length of his face. He's destroyed his face. It's absolutely horrific. I mean, it's just, I mean, there's not so much any of us can say. We weren't there. We don't know exactly what's happened. And, you know, the Millwall CEO has come out and talked about the Millwall reputation, and they've talked about the work they've done, and said, look, Millwall Football Club can't be responsible for educating the whole of South East London and this group of people. We need the authorities, the Football Association, kick it out ourselves, other clubs, rather than threatening everyone with ground closures and saying chuck them out of the cup and ridiculous notions that are going on. We all need to come together, find a way to try and educate people, etc., etc. Football is fantastic. Let's use its place in society to educate people. And on he goes. He says, don't say, oh, let's get Millwall out of the FA Cup. It's not getting us anywhere. This isn't just a Millwall thing. It happens across society. He's right, of course, I suppose, in many ways. And that said, there is a Millwall reputation which seems to endure. There's not so much you can say beyond just the... Like, he's really just ruined his face. It's just, it's shocking.
I'll tell you a wee story about that. My early days at Chelsea, we played down at the old Den. And I got food poisoning a couple of days before it, so I couldn't play. But being me, I thought, oh, I'll just go along and go to the game. So I went to the game not feeling particularly well and feeling so unwell that 15, 20 minutes into the game, sitting in the stand with some Chelsea people, some sort of people who worked at the club, I had to rush down to the loo. So I ran down to the loo, went to the loo, came back up again, felt terrible. Had to do that a couple of times. Anyway, never thought another thing. Ended up jumping in a team bus afterwards and went back home. The next day, one of our kids in our team, he'd played a couple of first team teams, called Robert Isaacs, was slit in the toilets during the game by a Millwall fan, all the way down his back with a Stanley knife. The whole of his back with a Stanley knife. And it just shows it happens, and it's happened all the time. Now, it happened at Millwall there, but it's not just Millwall. You're right. They tend to wait to certain games, these people that do these things. The ones that are noticed, the ones that are on telly, the ones that are high profile. And it is a social cancer that, you know, sometimes it was far right people that were doing it. It was a political point they were making. And other times it was this, you know, the kind of gang culture thing that they had at the intercity firms and all that sort of stuff. None of them are football fans. They're not football fans. They really do not give a stuff about football. I met a lot of these people, the headhunters at Chelsea when I was there, and the sad remnants of those people are still hanging around now and again. You meet up with them. And I always said, we don't like you very much. I mean, were you at the game? No, we don't go to the games. Go to where the games are, but we don't go to the games. That's how much they care about football. They don't care about football. They use football. And they use football to get themselves that little bit of fame. And the more pictures of that guy that are shown with his face slashed, the happier that moron who did it is. And that's the sadness when you meet these losers. That's how they think. And how the hell you get around that, I don't know. When the best policing you can get. Blaming a club. Nah, I'm with Millwall chairman, and I don't say that very often, or CEO. It's not the club. They don't do that. They fight against it.
When you say the Chelsea headhunters, you mean the ringleaders who went around trying to almost recruit people? Is that what you mean? Or?
Well, they all had firms in those days. It was the Intercity firm was one. You know, Tottenham had their fans that were fighters. West Ham, they had their fans that had fighters. And they all had different names. So the headhunters were Chelsea. I think they were Chelsea headhunters. And then, so they all had their stupid names, which made them feel very, very big and very, very important.
Right.
And I've always, one of my angers that I've never lost was there was a big the thing that you called the casuals that was going on here. There's been so many books written about it, about how they had these fights and how they did this and what it was great, and it was a social cultural thing. You're a bunch of morons, you're a bunch of hooligans. Some of us worked actually quite hard and lost our entire careers in European football because of you arses. Because that's, you know, it was just, remember what happened in Heysel. You know, that was just idiots. You know, that was idiots who were fighting with each other. And why that is now looked back on by some people as a nice part of culture, an interesting part of culture. Not for me. I think the ones that do write those books are ones that do make those programs and those films. I have absolutely no time for them. I'm disgusted to make the films in the first place.